It's beyond fairy tale. It's inconceivable.
There it is! Doyle's done it! This is the greatest sport in the world!
From a field of nearly 7,000, just 79 remain.
A lot more poker to play, boys.
And in this battle for poker's ultimate prize, the spotlight shines brightest on one man, Phil Hellmuth.
I don't like the way you play poker.
When last we saw him, he was at his Phil worst.
This is how I lose my money, to some idiot.
Losing chips and his temper.
You are an idiot!
Now his focus must shift to collecting himself and a bracelet. The run for the final table begins.
Yes!
Yeah! Hey, boys!
Tonight, survival is no longer enough.
To you, it's poker, man. To me, this is my life.
Welcome to the World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. I'm Lon McCarran, along with Norman Chad. After the fireworks of Day 5, the main event resumes here at the Rio as 79 players are one step closer to the $9 million grand prize.
Look at all them chips you got.
Tiffany Michelle has over $3 million in chips. She and Lisa Parsons each hope to be the second woman ever to sit at a main event final table. Another interesting duo are two childhood friends, Justin Scott and Dean Hamrick. At table 2 is tournament leader Mark Ketteringham with almost 6 million chips. And out in the field is the one-time chip leader, Christian Dragomir, fresh off his big win against and verbal abuse from the man at our featured table, Phil Hellmuth.
The poker brat received a 9-hand penalty for his outburst against Christian Dragomir. Hellmuth appealed. The penalty was overturned, so Phil starts day 6 in action.
Phil's dreams of winning a second World Series main event bracelet are still alive.
Little brawl going on here last night. Did anybody read that write-up last night? No?
The 10-4? The 10-4?
Christian Dragomir was very successful playing the 10-4 a couple of times on day 5.
The big re-raise?
No, he didn't move in. If he moved in, I wouldn't have been so upset.
It wasn't a brawl. It was simply Phil stepping out of bounds. Hellmuth excusing himself, but there is no excuse for his tirades.
On the E-Trade Financial chip count, you see Tiffany Michelle's chip stack good enough for 4th place. Other notable chip stacks right there. Phil Hellmuth starts the day with 721,000. The top stacks at this featured table belong to Irishman James McManus with more than 2.4 million. About the same total, Kelly Kim from Southern California and Jason Riesenberg from right here in Las Vegas with 2.2 million.
And the international trend we have seen the last few years continues. 1/3 of the remaining players in the main event are foreign-born.
Action on James McManus on the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam, Queen 6 offsuit.
At 23, he's one of the youngest left in the field, and McManus has a chance to beat Phil Hellmuth's record as youngest main event champion ever.
He raises it to 77,000. Phil Hellmuth looks down at, come on, Phil. King Queen offsuit.
I don't know what to do with Phil on. Even if his outbursts weren't against the rules, Phil's wrong. You just don't treat people that way.
He will call McManus's raise, and these two will be heads up to the flop. The flop is Jack 7 Queen. Each pair their queen. Phil has the better kicker. McManus first to act. Makes it 115,000. And Phil with an immediate call.
Phil minding his P's and Q's at the moment.
Turn card, 5 of clubs. No help to McManus, who's way behind. But McManus will bet it. Makes it 190,000. And Phil's right on his tail.
Yeah, Phil wasting no time telling McManus, I have you in my sights, son.
River cards a king, and Hellmuth earns the check mark. He's got kings up, but there's a 3rd diamond on the board. McManus checks now.
Finally slows down. I gotta believe Phil likes his hand, but he might be worried about those diamonds and the straight draw out there.
He's got chips in his hand.
Oh, I'm not sure you can call. Let me just think.
Phil might be figuring if he bets, McManus will either fold or raise, so maybe he should play it safe.
I pretty much have the nuts, but I'll check.
Phil checks.
Got a queen.
1 pair for McManus, 2 pair for Hellmuth will win the pot.
Well, if Phil had served his penalty, he would have been blinded off 81,000 chips. Instead, he adds 400,000 chips to his stack. Big difference.
A better start to day 6 than an end to day 5 for Phil Hellmuth as he continues his pursuit of World Series history. Johnny Moss, Doyle Brunson, Stu Unger, Johnny Chan. That is the list of players who have won multiple main events, and that's about the only all-time list in which the name Phil Hellmuth is absent, but Norman, he's getting very close to that.
One day he may be #1 in main event titles. The Poker Brat already is top dog in World Series bracelets, final tables, and cashes. Plus, he's the career leader in temper tantrums. What, you think DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak is untouchable? Hellmuth's temper tantrum number is so high, I've lost count.
Phil does claim that he is later ashamed of flying off the handle, yet it does happen tournament after tournament. All right, let's jump to an outer table. We learn that Victor Ramden is all in against Suresh Prabhu. Ramden with a flush draw has the best chance of winning the hand, but Prabhu leads right now with pocket fives after the flop.
Remember, Ramden donates 25% of his poker earnings to charity. He primarily helps children with medical needs in his native Guyana.
And he picks up an 8 on the turn to take the lead.
And now that means Prabhu can only knock out Ramden with one card, the 5 of diamonds.
River's a 9 of hearts. Ramden ends up with a flush. He doubles up and stays alive in this main event. All right, let's go over to table 2. We find some familiar faces sitting there. Las Vegas pro Michael Carroll and the day 5 chip leader, Jeremy Joseph. They are both bystanders to the pre-flop action between Brandon Cantu with pocket aces and the chip leader on the day, Mark Ketteringham, with pocket trays.
Heads up.
And here we go to the flop. It is ace, jack, deuce, and Cantu all but finishes this hand with a set of aces.
Cantu, a self-taught poker madman, no training sites, no poker books.
350.
Ketteringham checked. Cantu bets 350. And the biggest stack in the room wants to play big stack poker, raises to $1 million.
Well, Brandon gets re-raised a lot because of his aggressive reputation. Ketteringham trying to bluff him here.
I call.
And Brandon calls. Ketteringham can't like that.
Well, Cantu will play it coy. He's got Ketteringham nailed.
Turn card now, a 5. Ketteringham with a gut shot straight draw.
What do you got left?
That inquiry just might be a ploy to slow Brandon down.
What, like 940.
Ketteringham checks.
He's sitting on just a pair of 3s. He'd need a 4 to make a straight.
Muller.
Brandon with a set of aces moves all in.
Ketteringham can't be long for this hand.
And he does give it up wisely.
Well, you never know what Cantu has. The chip leader picked a bad time there to pick on Brandon.
Cantu's been flirting with a chip lead for a couple of days. He just took a bite out of the biggest stack there. Out in the field, David Chino Ream is in a pot with Bob Whalen after the flop of 6-deuce-8. Whalen has bet $450,000.
Just trying to figure out if I got the best hand or not.
Well, what else would you be trying to figure out at the moment, Chino? Jeez.
All right, I'm all in.
Chino Ream pushes all in.
I call.
And Whalen calls.
You got the best hand, sir.
All in call, green.
Let's see what they got. 7 deuce for a pair of deuces for Chino and pocket jacks for Whalen.
Well, Chino tried to muscle up on the shorter stack. What I love about Chino is he's very aggressive, and when it backfires, he just casually moves on.
Chino in deep trouble. Whalen with a prime opportunity to double up. Now the turn card is a 7 and 2 pair for Ream to take the lead.
Oh, Chino gets very lucky. Now Whalen will need a jack, 6 or 8 to stay alive.
River card is a tray, and that's going to do it. Chino Ream wins the hand. Whalen, the first player eliminated on day 6.
Chino Ream living large, getting lucky.
Wow. So Bob Whalen wins over $77,000 for his efforts here in the main event.
Living good, boys. Living good. Playing bad, making moves, living good.
When the good players get lucky, watch out, world.
The 2008 World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light.